So think of a teacher that had a positive impact on your life. Maybe someone that advocated for you. Maybe someone that cultivated a meaningful relationship with you. What do we remember? The goal of our project was to help prepare more STEM teachers to be just like this. Specifically, those that embody social justice, equity, and advocacy. Importantly, teachers' perspectives are deeply informed by their social identities and the way that they understand themselves in context of the social world. This is especially important for teachers serving youth of color or those that have also been historically marginalized. This is important in practice because one must be conscious of deficit-laden perspectives that bar youth of color from opportunities. And instead, these teachers could consider the vast wealth that youth bring to the classroom. As such, teacher preparation programs play a pivotal role in shaping their practices and beliefs. Will they be more inclusive and anti-racist teachers? For this project, I partnered with CalTeach, which is a 4-year bachelorette plus credential program for STEM majors here at UCI. And the mission of CalTeach is to prepare these aspiring teachers to become social change agents in high-need schools. And what this means is usually they go and teach in schools that are serving first-generation college goers or youth that hail from low-income communities. And our goal was to create spaces for these aspiring teachers to confront both their implicit and explicit biases and to better position them to fight extremism once in the classroom. And to achieve this, we created a series of year-long book clubs where aspiring teachers could reflect on their personal histories and their identities. We wanted to create a space that demanded them to reflect deeply and discuss their personal beliefs, thus leading them to consider how they can take actionable steps in their own classrooms. And so to do this, we have created a series of book clubs. So for instance, here in fall, the first book that we read during the fall was This Book is Anti-Racist by Tiffany Jewell. And we deliberately chose this book because it provided an opportunity for readers to engage on their social identities and how they can take action. And several participants, this is us, so several participants mentioned that this was the first space that they ever had to think about their social identities and how they could take action. However, as time progressed, we wanted to give the students autonomy to choose the book that they wanted to read in the future. And so during winter, they chose to read Teachers of Color by Dr. Aretha Coley. And this book provides counter stories of teachers of teachers as they navigate their K-12 schooling experience, their teacher preparation programs, and their experiences once in the classroom. And importantly, for these aspiring STEM teachers, this book also documented the experiences of teachers as they try to employ anti-deficit or anti-racist practices in their own classrooms, but the tensions that they also experienced. Now, I think this book and this quarter in particular was very informative for the aspiring teachers because Dr. Aretha Coley, the author of the book, actually came to visit them. And so they had some FaceTime with these aspiring teachers. And to this day, I'll overhear them talking about this conversation that they had with Dr. Aretha Coley. And I know this partly because I'm kind of nosy, but a good type of nosy. So sometimes I'll be in their classrooms and the aspiring teachers will talk about how they want to keep themselves accountable to the youth. But also, these are undergraduate students, right? So they're doing their math classes or depending on their major. And then they're also juggling their, say, part-time jobs and their responsibilities or commitments that they have to their loved ones, right? And so, and then I'll overhear, my ear, I'll overhear someone say, remember what Dr. Aretha Coley, we can lean on each other and help each other, right? And so this is what Dr. Aretha Coley alludes to as a community of resistance. So from this book club, they learned that they can lean on each other and confide in each other, especially in context when they're trying to employ anti-racism in their own practice as teachers. And during the fall, this spring quarter, they also chose this book, which is by Liz Kleinrock. It's Start Here, Start Now. And so not only did they choose the book themselves, but they pretty much ran the whole thing now. They are the ones who advertised the book club to their peers, which made things very easy for me. All I did was create a calendar invite. And so in this way, they literally took charge of everything. So right now, the aspiring teachers are thinking about, instead of considering how they can employ anti-racism and anti-bias in their practice as teachers, instead of thinking of it as another question that they must consider, they're thinking of how they can consider anti-racism and anti-bias as a framework or a lens. So in sum, this grant has helped build a sustainable group of practice for aspiring teachers that are committed to social justice and equity. It has helped us be intentional about how we create spaces for people to grapple and to learn from each other, and can thus enable people to reflect and talk about issues and questions related to equity and inclusion. So now looking ahead, we plan on extending these book club series to the summer. But instead, they'll literally take charge of everything, including the calendar invite. And so we plan that they'll come as returners, and they'll facilitate these book clubs for the incoming cohorts. And so thus building more sustainable learning communities, facilitating the development of more socially just teachers, just like the ones you were thinking of at the start of my presentation. Thank you.